Welcome to Stuck Time to Improv. I'm Mary Scott with Business Riff, and I want startups to be wildly successful. So today we're going to be talking with Kyra Jones from the Financial Intervention Academy. We're going to be talking about money. Thanks for coming, Kyra.
Thank you so much for having me.
So let's talk about some of the financial things people need to know, right? Particularly when you're a startup.
Yeah, so I'm actually going to cover some red flags to watch for in your finances that you might be heading towards a financial crisis. I'm going to kind of shoot through 10 of them and highlight the three that I think are the most important. So, number one, living with high debt levels or maxed out credit cards. Probably feeds into number two, living paycheck to paycheck. Number three, missing payments or accounts going into collections. Number four, not having an emergency fund. Five, no budget or a financial plan. Six, borrowing to pay bills or stealing from your retirement accounts to cover those. Dealing with unemployment or a reduced income, dealing with legal issues like lawsuits, foreclosures, and wage garnishments, definitely be setting you back. Number nine, ignoring financial statements like your bank statements, credit card statements, looking at how much total interest and fees you've been paying, which usually leads to number 10, experiencing overwhelming stress and anxiety in your financial situation. So a
Well,
lot of
we'll
these
have
do
to put the
kind of feed into each other.
rewind button on that one so people can catch all 10 of those great things you need to watch out for. So let's talk about what are the three top things that are the most dangerous.
As a financial coach, these are the things that I see that people struggle with most, that put them on that path to crisis. And it's one of the first things we address to help them back onto a right track with their finances. So if you're this first one's about credit cards and your debt. So there's kind of three levels to this. If you're not paying off your credit card in full every month, that's kind of like your first warning sign, like, uh-oh, we don't want to let this get out of control. So then if you're only carrying like 15 to 30% of your available limit, that's kind of like an orange flag. You want to try to get that obviously paid off, and get back to that habit of paying them off every month. But if it's 15 to 30%, that's not terrible. It's when you get up and above 50% or even maxed out on all your credits. So this is the number one reason people are getting denied for mortgages right now, because their debt to income ratio is too high.
Sure. And as
So
a startup, you have to make sure that you have your business separate from your personal. So there needs to be a credit card that is business exclusive, and don't buy stuff for your business on your personal card, right?
yes, commingling funds is a big issue there. So just having a separate checking and savings for personal and a separate checking and savings and or credit card for your business.
Right. Okay. And
And
what's the
so
second big red flag?
next one be your emergency fund. So not having an emergency fund is an emergency, and this would be for you and your business. So ideal is, having anywhere from 3 to 6 months worth of your monthly expenses. And that's for both personal and business. So I like to advise having 1 month of an emergency fund in cash tied to your checking account, and then 2 to 5 months worth of expenses in a high yield savings account. But this is where working with clients, life starts compounding for them. When we get that emergency fund in place, no longer are we turning to credit cards or borrowing or other, decisions, because it is sitting there ready for us. And inevitably things happen in life. And it's always those, I just can't get ahead every time this happens, that happens. The emergency fund in place is going to really help you deal with life coming at you.
Sure. And you don't have to have all of that money available to put into a fund now. You have to start somewhere. And even if you're only putting a minimal amount in every week to build it up, do that rather than being overwhelmed and putting it off altogether.
Yeah, which leads kind of into the next one, because it's having that budget or that financial plan in place and automating those savings. If you're paycheck to paycheck, I don't usually recommend that you automate bill paying, but automate your savings. So set it up through your employer or through your business, however you do that, and set aside 5, 10, or 20% of your income to savings goals. So that budget, it's very simple, but it's not easy. It's just giving every dollar a job before it hits your account. The other side of that is making sure that your spending aligns with 50% to needs, 30% to wants, and 20% to savings and investing. So as long as you're giving every dollar a job before it hits your account and you're staying within that 50, 30, 20 framework, you're going to be setting yourself up for financial success.
Sure. And remember to pay yourself.
Yes, profit first is another topic I've done on some other podcasts, and that is paying yourself first. So 5% off the top goes to a profit account. And basically, with the profit first, to make it quick, it's you're pretty much allocating all the funds based on a percentage. So 5% to profit, 15% to taxes, 50% for owner's pay, 30% for your operating expenses. And so you can kind of play with those percentages based on your business need. If you have a lot of inventory, you might have a separate bucket where a certain percentage of your income goes into kind of manage that inventory that turns over all the time. As a coach, I don't have any inventory, so that's not a bucket for me, but that's a great way to every dollar that comes in, you just kind of allocate it based on percentages. And I do that with my personal finances too. The 50, 30, 20 is a way to do that with personal finances. If you keep your needs under 50%, and you're saving 20, then you get to do 30% of your income you get to spend on whatever you want. And that's when your budget starts working for you. And that's when it gets fun because, after you allocate all of your money, that 30% is left in your account and you can do it, spend it guilt free however you want.
Sure. And check your bank account at least once a week. Don't wait for that once a month thing. You need to know where your money is if you're in business for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So
So
this
just
has
doing a
been
breakdown of that your spending and see what's going to needs and what's going to wants. That'll give you the eye opener to see like, okay, I'm, got to get these needs under control and get that down. So that way you can say yes and spend 30% on whatever you want.
sure. And when you're really looking at your money, you can tell if you're a victim of shiny objects that you spend money on that you may not actually need.
Correct. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
thank you so much, Kyra Jones. This has been really important, practical information. So, I highly recommend people watch this episode more than once. And we'll put information in the comments so people can contact you.
Sure. Yeah. I all starts with a free discovery call. I do a 30-minute discovery call. Obviously, I do one-on-one coaching, and that's where people get the most transformation. But if you just need like a credit audit and we'll look at your credit report, so maybe you're trying to get approved for a home or something like that, we can do a credit audit, or I can help you put together a debt management plan. So those are some of the services I offer.
Excellent. Thank you, Kyra Jones from the Financial Intervention Academy. This is
Thank you so
Mary
much for
Scott
having me.
with Business Riff, and I want startups to be wildly successful. One of the best things you can do is book a synergy call with me at businessriff.com and join us again next time for Stock Time to Improv.